So during this placement, I thought I was getting quite prepared for next year's full-time placements. I feel like it did help in certain ways, but it was also in other ways it made me realise what I need to work on. It was good to have a placement that was very self-directed. It forced me not to rely on someone telling me what to do all the time, and I had to make my own decisions. And I didn't really have time for self-doubt because we had to get what we needed to get done quickly. Um, it made me realise how important time management is, collaborative practice, and being able to liaise with co-workers. Um, Being a placement with a broad range of conditions, it made me feel a bit more confident that I was getting exposure and a wider range of experience. Although I did realise that I need to work on my time management. I spent way too long on initial interviews, assessments, and getting to the goal setting stage of the CPPF. Also, in this prac, we had 4 residents, and thinking that my time management wasn't with 4 residents is quite a small caseload compared to placements next year, such as at hospitals and other practices. It makes me a bit nervous. I realise I need to step up my game a bit before next year because I know that we won't just have 4 patients over 14 days. It'll be a much larger caseload, and I need to work out how to manage my time better if I felt that this semester I wasn't doing it quite that well. I also need to work on my emotional resilience before next year's placements. I feel like I'm not quite prepared for that and the situations I might be faced with. So, for example, this semester, I let bad situations affect me for longer than it should have. For example, a lady who's 95 years old had a fall, and I let it affect me much longer after the incident than it should have. And I felt really guilty, even though I couldn't stop the situation. I was nowhere near it. I just happened to see it from afar. I feel like to survive next year at full-time placement, I can't let every little thing affect me and make me feel guilty, or I'll be really emotionally worn down. Some positives, though, that I've gained that will prepare me for next year is I feel more confident in liaising with co-workers, staff, and collaborating ideas. Also meeting people for the first time. I get really anxious and nervous when I'm meeting new people. I often think too much about, will they like me, will they trust me? And I often feel a bit anxious in new environments. I'm not good with change or unfamiliar places, so this placement forced me to enter a new environment with new people, new situations, and be more independent with my decision making and problem solving, which I haven't been exposed to before. Something else I need to work on that I've realised is I need to research my assessments more and be more confident when administering them and better interpret results. My planning needs to be better. That comes along with time management and also just being able to prepare for the future. So, for example, I need to think ahead a bit more. So I need to use an assessment maybe for a baseline and thinking that how can I measure the outcome later on. So, for example, in the evaluation stage of the CPPF, which I didn't do in this placement. And so I think I need to be on top of that for next semester so that I can really evaluate change. I feel like my skills have all genuinely improved from my placement, and will help me next year. However, I feel like there is a lot of room for improvement, and there always is, and I feel like I'll learn a lot next year. Another thing that's made me realise that I need to work on certain things more is I've started a recent job as a therapy assistant. I thought this placement had prepared me quite well, and then I've begun this therapy assistant job where I have to observe, document, and report on children with autism during therapy sessions. And I found that I really struggled with that, and that I might need to work on my observation skills and interpretations, and that I need to do it faster, quickly, and more concisely. This makes me nervous because I know next year we're expected to be able to do those things. I know that they do realise we're students and that we have room to learn and we need to do that. But I think that this job that I have taken on will resemble what fourth year placements may be like, and it makes me slightly nervous. So I'm hoping that I can get some good experience through my work to help me with observation, interpretations, and concise documentation before next year's fourth year placements, and that I'll feel more confident rather than anxious in doing that. I also feel like this job has made me realise, well, no, not realise, I think it's given me a bit more confidence when confronting new situations as well. So along with this placement, I felt like I was really confident, but before I started my job, I was really unconfident and anxious. So I think starting this new job with this new position, new people, new environment, also helped me realise that maybe I do need to work on that a bit. And it also has given me a bit more confidence in that I can enter new situations and I can adapt eventually. And I think that it's really important for next year's fieldwork. I don't want to be really anxious when I go to my first day and worried too much. I want to be as cool, calm, and collected as I can be, and confident in my skills. And I think that's something that I'll be working on before I start my first placement in March.